GCSE OCR Business. Hey, my name's Lily, and in this video you're going to learn a term's worth of business in just 10 minutes. So stick with me and watch till the end. Today we're going to be studying the topic business activity. So our first question is, what is business? We can answer this by first discovering what do businesses supply. Well, they sell products at a price customers are willing to pay. The product should be unique in a way to get customers to want to buy from you and not from someone else. For example, maybe your products are really good quality or they're cheaper, and therefore customers might want to buy from you and not somewhere else. Products can either be goods or services. A good is like a physical item, while services are actions performed by others. There are two types of products, wants and needs. So obviously a want is something you would like but you can live without, and a need is something you cannot live without. As we said, products are either goods or services, and those goods or services can be wants or needs. Some examples, a service that you could need would be going to the hospital when you're sick, and a service you could want could be traveling or going on vacation. A good which is a need could be house or food, and a good which is a want could be makeup or jewelry. So why are there new business ideas? Why don't we just stick with the old ones? Well, a new business idea could happen because someone creates a product they think people will pay for. For example, we said before, if you have a product which you think is better in quality or price, a difference in the customer's interests, wants, or needs. If everyone started to really care about fashion, then it might be a good time to start a fashion business. Distributing goods from another manufacturer. If someone has a product they'd like to put on your website or market, benefiting other people, like volunteering, charity campaigns, etc. Or changes in technology, for example AI or science. Every time science improves, there might be a new iPhone or a new iPad. There are more reasons, but these are the main ones. Why is enterprise important? Would business actually exist without enterprise? Well, business enterprise is when you find new or existing business opportunities and develop them. An entrepreneur is somebody who takes risks, like production, marketing, sales, research, development, and so much more. These are all called enterprise activities. So no, businesses wouldn't be the same if they even existed without enterprise. What qualities do entrepreneurs need? So entrepreneurs seem to have a really big role in business, but what type of qualities do they need to succeed in their job? Well, they need creativity. They need to be able to come up with ideas and solutions and problem solve, while still making sure their ideas are liked by the customers. Risk takers. You might have to invest from your own savings that you could lose. You have to take calculated risks. Determination. It takes a lot of perseverance. You may work alone for a long time and you might fail repeatedly before getting a win. And you will be doing a lot of different tasks. And confidence. Know your abilities. If you aren't confident in yourselves, then others won't be either. You are your biggest supporter. What are the risks and rewards in business? The risks. When creating a business, you might need to take a loan. If your business isn't successful, you could find it hard to pay back. If you quit your job with a business and it fails, you'll have to rely on something else for income. It will take a lot of time and determination to finally achieve anything. And you can't always control everything. Some things might not go to plan, and there's nothing you can do about it. Make sure you have backup plans and a stable support system outside of your project if anything doesn't work. On a higher note, what are the rewards in business? Well, your business can obviously succeed and expand. You can make lots of profit. You're independent. You can choose what you do on a daily basis. You can choose if you're in an office or at home. Are you hands-on? What are your working hours? You're more flexible. And you could become famous or popular, for example, like Amazon. Why is a business plan important? How does a business plan reduce risk? Well, a business plan says what a business is going to do and how. It clears up a lot of information, telling the owner what resource and money requirements and strong and weak points are of the plan, and how everything will be achieved. It can be helpful when you want to start a business or make changes to one that already exists. If it seems like a plan has more cons than pros, or holes are found in the project, it can help stop the owners from spending even more time and money. You can take a step back and look at your plans from another point of view. So how can a business plan be useful? Firstly, acknowledge who you're trying to sell to. Find your target audience and use market research to show why the target audience will appreciate your product. Funding. What are the needed resources? Time, money, effort, workers, property, technology. There's a lot, and which ones do we need? And how much of it? Have an accurate estimate of the funding required to produce, transport, and market the product. And how much money is needed? Where are you getting it from? Do you need to build up a credit score, or are you using savings, a relative? You must consider profit, costs, investment, revenue. Are you likely to get this money back and when? Aims. You should have specific goals, not general ones. For example, not to sell the most phones per month in London, but rather sell 50 phones per month for a year. There's a lot to think about here, but that's why business plans are useful. They help you to gather all that information and put it in one spot. Moving on, our next question is, what is the best ownership structure? Sole traders and partnerships. What are the advantages and disadvantages? And we'll go into more detail about what they all mean later. Sole traders. The advantages are they're easy to set up and you're your own boss. And also, you control any profit. You decide how much goes into expanding the business or how much you keep for yourself. Disadvantages. Long hours and not many holidays. And you're liable for any debt. You don't have a business identity and you're unincorporated. It's hard to get money and loans. Partnerships. There's more of you, so there's more ideas and skills to go around, and you'll all help each other when things get difficult. You also share the work, and more money is able to be put into the business. And obviously, the more people, the more split. Disadvantages. Each person is responsible for what others do. If one person does something wrong, you're all responsible. And you're all liable for any debt. Everyone has an equal say, so you all have to agree. And the money is shared between you all, so that might mean less pay. What are limited companies? Limited companies are incorporated. The business has a separate identity from the owners. Any money earned belongs to the company and not the owner. Similarly, it has limited liability. So if anything goes wrong, the company is liable, not the owner. So owners can only lose the money they've invested. They're owned by shareholders, so people who buy a part of the company, and the more shares, the more control. Limited companies can split into private limited companies and public limited companies. In private limited companies, it means that the shares can only be given out if all shareholders agree. Private limited companies have Ltd after their name. Some advantages are they're incorporated, they have limited liability, and it's easier to get loans. And also, to get a share, all owners must agree, so you keep a lot of the control. Disadvantages are they're more expensive than partnerships because of the paperwork, and you have to publish your accounts every year. However, they don't have to be public. Public limited companies. Public companies mean that shares are traded on a stock exchange, and anyone can buy or sell them. You might become public when you want to expand. Public limited companies have PLC after their name. Some advantages are there's much more researchers and profit. You can expand and become more diverse, and there's limited liability and are incorporated. Disadvantages are there's very little control, so it's hard to make decisions, and it's easy for someone to take over the company by just buying more shares. accounts must be public, and share profits with more people. Finally, choosing your legal structure. In total, you need to choose if you'd like to be limited or unlimited liability, if you'll be a sole trader, partnership, or limited company, and if you're a limited company, are you a private limited or public limited company? These are really important because it decides how much control and responsibility you have over the business. It can also give you an idea of how risky the business will be. Will you be completely liable for the business, or are you responsible for others' actions? Everything has its pros and cons. What matters is how far you're willing to go and what works for you. Congratulations, you just learned a term's worth of business in one video. I hope you enjoyed and learned something new. See you next time. Bye!